Your hair looked fine leaving the salon. 2 weeks later, something's wrong. You just can't name what. It's not the color. It's not the length. But every single morning, the mirror gives you something you didn't ask for, and it keeps getting worse. What if the cut itself is the problem? And what if the person who gave it to you already knew? Stylists are trained to make you leave happy. They are not trained to tell you the truth about what your bone structure actually needs, especially after 50. There's one specific technique most of them skip that adds years instead of lifting them. I'll cover that in part 3, and it changes everything about how you talk to your stylist going forward. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The silence in the salon chair. There's something that happens in the salon chair that nobody talks about. And honestly, it took me a long time to understand it. You sit down. You show a photo. You describe what you want. And the stylist nods, picks up the scissors, and gives you something that's close, but not quite it. And you leave a little unsatisfied, but you don't say anything either. Because what would you even say? Here's what I want you to know. That quiet, unsatisfied feeling you walk out with. It has a name. And it's not your fault for not knowing how to ask. The real problem is that your stylist almost certainly did not tell you what was going wrong, and there's a very specific reason they didn't. This is the one that a friend of mine heard, and immediately booked a new consultation. Because once you understand why they stay quiet, you can never unhear it. Stylists are in the business of repeat clients. Happy clients come back. Unhappy clients don't. So the default is to deliver something pleasing, not something truthful. That means if your current cut is actually pulling your face downward, flattening your cheekbones, and reading about 6 years older in any photograph, there's a real chance your stylist has noticed and said nothing, because pointing it out risks the relationship. Think about that for a second. The specific mistake most stylists won't flag is this: weight. Dead weight sitting at the wrong point on your face. After 50, the face changes. Volume shifts downward. Skin softens along the jaw. The features that used to carry themselves now need a little help. And the way you get that help is through where your hair sits and what direction the layers move. A cut that adds weight at the jawline or below the ears is doing the opposite of what your face needs right now. It's pulling the eye down. And when the eye goes down, the face reads heavier. The cheekbones disappear. The jaw softens in all the wrong ways. And most women have been wearing versions of the same heavy cut for years, because nobody said anything. So what does the right cut actually do differently? It moves. Specifically, it moves upward and outward, away from the jaw, away from the ear, and toward the cheekbone. Layers that are placed to create volume above the jaw, rather than below it, lift the entire face. The eye follows movement upward. Your cheekbones, which have been there all along, by the way, suddenly red again. Your face looks lighter, cleaner, more like you. It's not about having the perfect face shape. It's about understanding the direction of visual weight. And once you understand that, you can walk into any salon and ask for exactly what your face needs, instead of describing a photo and hoping for the best. What's coming in part 2 is the part most women find hardest to hear. Because it's not about the cut you're getting, it's about the question you forgot to ask before the scissors even came out. Part 2. The question your stylist is waiting for you to ask. Most women sit down in the chair and say the same 3 things. Take a little off the ends. Keep the length. Just clean it up a bit. And the stylist does exactly that. Because that's what was asked. But here's the question almost nobody asks. And it's the one that changes the entire appointment. Are you ready? It's this. What is my face shape doing right now? And what does this cut need to do to work with it? That's it. That one question unlocks a completely different conversation. And the stylist, if they're good, knows exactly how to answer it. The problem is that most women don't know they're allowed to ask it. You are allowed to ask it. You deserve to ask it. And the answer will tell you more in 30 seconds than 10 years of trial and error appointments. This is the one that most of my audience messages me about after, because they finally had the conversation and couldn't believe they'd waited this long. Here's why face shape matters more after 50 than it ever did before. In your 30s, your face had volume. Natural fullness that filled in the gaps and softened any awkward angles. The bone structure was still being cushioned. You could get away with a lot. After 50, that cushion shifts. The face reads differently, more angular in some places, softer in others. And a cut that worked for the face you had at 40 might be working directly against the face you have right now. This is not a flaw. This is physics. And once you know it, you can dress for it. If your face has become more angular along the jaw, you need movement and softness through the mid-lengths. No blunt ends, no hard lines. If your face has softened and rounded, you need height and structure. Layers that build upward, not outward. If your temples have become more prominent, you need side-swept volume at the crown to rebalance the proportion. Every face is speaking a slightly different language. And a good cut is a fluent translation. Yes, that's specific. There's something almost nobody in this space talks about. The fact that your stylist is looking at your hair type, not your face architecture. These are two completely different things. A stylist trained in technique will give you a beautiful cut that is perfectly executed on your hair texture. That is not the same as a cut designed to make your face read younger, sharper, and more lifted. You need both. And the way you get both is by opening that conversation before the scissors come out. So here's what to say at your next appointment. Before anything else, say this. I want to talk about what my face shape needs before we decide on a length. Watch what happens. A great stylist will light up, because someone is finally asking the right question. The next part is where I get specific about technique, the one cutting method that almost always gets skipped on women over 50, and what to say to make sure it doesn't get skipped on you. Part 3. The cutting technique they skip and how to ask for it by name. Ask any stylist what point cutting is, and they'll tell you instantly. Ask them when they last used it on a woman over 50, and you'll probably get silence. Point cutting is the technique where instead of cutting straight across in a blunt line, the stylist turns the scissors vertically and cuts small notches into the ends. It takes longer. It removes less hair at once. It requires more skill and more patience. And it does something that a blunt cut simply cannot do. It creates movement at the ends. Real, natural, weight-releasing movement that makes the hair look like it's alive. On women over 50, this technique is everything. Because fine hair, which most women over 50 are working with, sits flat when cut bluntly. There's nothing at the ends to create texture or lift. The hair just lies down. And when hair lies down around a face that needs lift, the face reads heavier, older, and more tired. This is the one that a client told me her entire relationship with her hair changed when she finally understood it. Not the color. Not the length. The ends. Here's the specific mistake that happens when this technique gets skipped. The stylist cuts your hair in a straight line across the ends, which is faster, which is easier, and which is perfectly fine on thick, coarse hair with plenty of natural volume. On fine hair after 50, that straight line creates a shelf, a visual edge. The light catches it. The ends look heavy even when the hair is thin. And that combination, heavy-looking ends on fine hair around an aging face, is doing enormous damage to how young your face reads in any light. And here's the part nobody says out loud. Most stylists default to blunt cuts because it's quicker and the result is immediate and clean-looking in the chair. You leave thinking it looks sharp and polished. And it does for about 4 days. Then the weight settles. The movement stops. And you're back to flat. Write this down. So here is exactly what to say at your next appointment. Say it before the cutting starts. I'd like you to use point cutting on the ends, especially through the mid-lengths. I want movement and texture, not a blunt line. Then add. I'd also like a little root lift through the crown. Can we talk about layer placement to support that? 2 sentences. That's it. That's the entire conversation that changes the outcome. If your stylist looks uncertain, or if they push back and say your hair doesn't need it, that's actually important information. That is the moment to ask. Can you show me what you'd recommend instead and why? A stylist who can answer that question with confidence and specificity is someone who has considered your actual face. A stylist who deflects? That's information too. Part 4 is the one that surprises people most, because it's not about the cut at all. It's about what happens at the very end of the appointment that most women skip without realizing it's the most important part. Part 4. The last 5 minutes of your appointment are costing you everything. You're almost done. The cut is finished. The stylist turns you to face the mirror. You nod and say it looks great, and then you pay and leave. That's the appointment. And somewhere in those last 5 minutes, in the rush of putting on your coat and checking your phone and booking the next visit, you missed the most valuable information of the entire appointment. The part that, honestly, most women don't even know exists. There's a reason your hair looks incredible leaving the salon, and looks nothing like that 3 days later. And it's not just because you don't blow dry it the same way. It's because the stylist shaped it with specific products and specific techniques, and they never told you exactly what they used or why, and you never asked. That gap between the salon version and the home version? For most women, it's 4 to 6 years in how old your hair reads on a regular morning. That's not an exaggeration. Here's what to do differently starting from your very next appointment. Before you get out of the chair, ask 3 specific questions. 1. What products did you use today and in what order? 2. Where exactly did you place the volume? Which sections did you lift first? 3. Is there one thing I should never skip when I'm doing this at home? 3 questions. Write them on your phone now so you don't forget. Because the product selection is everything on fine mature hair. A volumizing mousse applied at the root before blow drying, not mid-length at the root, creates lift that stays through the day. Most women apply product from mid-length down, which actually weighs the hair down and defeats the purpose. The placement is the technique. And your stylist knows this. They just assumed you did too. The root lift window is a real thing. It's the first 2 minutes of the blow dry, the window where the root is still slightly damp and fully moldable. If you lift the root section upward with a round brush in that window and hold it for 20 seconds before moving to the next section, the volume stays. If you miss that window, the root dries flat and stays flat, no matter what you do afterward. That single 2-minute window is the difference between salon hair and flat from the start hair. This one is everything. There's also a finish technique that most women skip and almost nobody talks about: cold air sealing. At the end of the blow dry, switch your dryer to cool and run it quickly over the surface of your hair from root to tip. This closes the cuticle, and closed cuticles catch light differently. Flat, rough cuticles absorb light and make hair look dull and dense. Smooth cuticles reflect light, and hair that reflects light looks thicker, shinier, and about 15 years younger in any photograph. If you swap the routine of putting down the dryer the second the hair is dry for adding 20 seconds of cool air, you will see the difference the first time you try it. That specific, that fast. You just changed your entire relationship with your hair. And the only thing that changed is what you know. That's the point. That has always been the point. You just learned 4 things your hairdresser should have told you years ago, and you figured it all out in one sitting. The silence in the salon chair, the question that unlocks everything, the technique to ask for by name, and the last 5 minutes that most women throw away. You have all of it now. Boom, your hair was never the problem. The information was. And now you have it. Drop a comment below and tell me, which part of this hit closest to home? Was it the point cutting you never knew to ask for? Or was it the root lift window you've been missing every morning? Next time, we're getting into the one color placement mistake that visually ages your face more than any cut ever could. And most women make it every single appointment without knowing. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.